Hey guys, I'm Rosh and welcome back to Signata Design. In this video I will make a food product rendering tutorial from scratch. All the 3D material I use comes from 3D Warehouse and you can download it via the link in the description. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this tutorial we will start by combining several files from 3D Warehouse. You can see here, some of the files I have downloaded. Okay, let's start by combining the existing materials into one piece. To make the scene realistic, you need some 3D food to put in the table in the store and around it. To do that, you need to open all files that have been downloaded from 3D Warehouse. Open those files one by one and drag them into your scene. The first thing is to place a table. Maybe you can take away some of the decorations, but leave at least one fabric element as a rendering decoration element later. Now you take the walnut element as decoration. You can copy the walnut 3D file to the 3D table file, or you can do the opposite by copying the walnut 3D file to the walnut 3D file. Use walnut 3D file only as decoration element, not main render element. You need to place the 3D walnuts on the table. To create an interesting scene, you just take some elements from the 3D walnuts, and remove some other elements that are not needed, such as the bowl and walnuts that are in the bowl. You can use walnut shards, leaves and walnuts on the outside. Place the walnut decoration in the position you want, or you can follow as I demonstrated. Now you take 3D ice cream as the main element in this 3D food rendering. Just take 3D ice cream as the main element. After that, copy and insert it into the initial 3D table file that we have combined with the walnut decorations. Before we move on to inserting other 3D elements, we have to execute the most important thing, which is composition. Now that we committed to our photography theory, we need to use additional software to position the render elements according to photography theory. In this video I use PureRef software as an additional tool to adjust the composition of the render image. In this video we will use the golden triangle theory in photography, so we can lay out the render composition aesthetically. After we're done setting up PureRef, we're now going to add another main element, which is a 3D cup of cappuccino. As you can see here, the 3D cappuccino is too big, so we have to resize it using the scale tool. And after that you need to position it according to the golden triangle line. A key composition rule is to make sure all the elements of your photo are in accordance with the golden triangle line. This means that they won't be crowded together, and they'll look balanced and professional. And as you can see here, there are walnuts that are outside the composition box. So we need to move them into the composition box. Now we will add the 3D chocolate elements. The first thing we need to do: open the 3D cake file that we downloaded, just copy the crushed chocolate as an additional element. Then simply copy and paste them into our composition, positioning it so that they look like they actually belong there. After this, you can move or maybe repositioning already existing ones. Or you can move spread crushed chocolate, so we can enhance our 3D render. The next step is to create a background. You can make the background as you like, or you can follow the background like I made, which is the box background. The function of this background is to control the incoming sunlight so that we can create a more dramatic light. Next, open Twinmotion, and import your 3D file inside of it. The next thing you do is create a scene for 3D rendering in Twinmotion. At this step, you need to use PureRef to set the vanishing point direction according to the golden triangle line. A few tips: you can use photos on Google to adjust the composition of the golden triangle line. And you can set it when making 3D. Adjust the size of the render output with the size of the golden triangle line so that it matches the rendering result that we want. As you can see earlier, the table size is too small, so it doesn't cover the entire rendering area. So I decided to rescale the table size so that the table looks full, covering the entire rendering area. Adjust all render components by dragging all food elements onto the rescaled table. Don't forget to enlarge the background box as well so that not too much light can enter, considering the table that was enlarged earlier. Then don't forget, you need to re-import the model that you adjusted earlier. Now you have the proper setup for your rendering area. The next step is to add light. To dramatically light your dish, you need a spotlight that will direct light directly at the food. It's almost like when you're out in a dark field and look inside of a flashlight, the beam of light penetrates into the darkness. For spotlight settings and placement, you can set the spotlight according to your wishes, or you can try my settings and placement in this video. Now, as you can see, the material is not realistic enough. So we will edit each material that goes into the render area, from the table, glasses, ice cream, and maybe even the napkin too. Finally, we need to set the path tracer before we render. I highly recommend setting the sample per pixel, aliasing filtering, and max bounces. You can follow my settings in this video, or you can also make settings according to your preferences. I increase the sample per pixel here so that the quality of the rendering can be better, and also increase aliasing filtering so that the rendering results can be smoother. For max bounces, you can adjust it to your liking. The higher it is, the more light reflections will be so that the rendering area becomes brighter. Here, I replaced the napkin material with the material contained in Twinmotion, so that the material can look more embossed. Okay, now we will render, and don't forget to do the export settings by selecting the high setting and refinement and also activating max lighting. Don't forget to select an existing image and activate the path tracer, and after that you can export the image and wait for it to finish. And voila! Your render is ready. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment and like so that I can develop better in the future. Ciao!